In 1250 CE, slave soldiers murdered their sultan and seized control of Egypt. They would rule for 267 years, but their story doesn't begin in Cairo. It begins 300 years earlier, with a Byzantine mistake that changed 3 continents. This is the origin story they erased from history. The Eurasian steppes, home to the Kipchaks, kumans, and pechenegs. Legendary horsemen who could shoot arrows while riding at full gallop. In the 9th and 10th centuries, something remarkable happened. These warrior tribes began converting to Orthodox Christianity. Byzantine missionaries celebrated their success, but in Constantinople, imperial bureaucrats saw a growing threat. The Byzantines had seen this before. Bulgaria had achieved church autonomy after its Christian population reached critical mass. Now, Christian Turkic numbers were growing dangerously. Constantinople calculated the trajectory. Scattered communities would demand Turkic language liturgy, then their own bishops, then a patriarchate. An independent Turkic Christian church would challenge Greek religious supremacy forever. Wait, some claim Byzantium would never use slave warriors. Wrong. They invented the system. Meet the Tourkopouloi, literally sons of Turks. Byzantinized Turkic warriors, converted and trained. The skythikon, recruited from pechenegs, kumans, and Kipchaks of the Pontic steppes. Byzantium was already doing exactly what the Abbasids copied. They had their own Mamluk-style forces decades before Cairo. The evidence is in their own military manuals. Emperor Alexios I Komnenos' army records prove it. Turks, kumans, pechenegs, Bulgars formed his missile cavalry corps. They weren't free allies. They were subjugated foreign troops. Some were prisoners of war, converted and Byzantinized. Others were purchased as children, exactly like Mamluks. The Tourkopouloi units were recruited from Byzantinized Turks and mercenaries from the Seljuk Sultanate. These are Byzantium's own words, not ours. So when Arabs started buying Turkic warriors, where did they come from? Byzantine slave markets. The empire that claims moral superiority was the original dealer. But here's the difference. Byzantium was smarter, at first. They segregated Turkic forces into different units. Tourkopouloi here, skythikon there, never concentrated in one place. They kept religious control through Greek Orthodox bishops. They prevented the unity that makes slave warriors dangerous. Meanwhile, the Arabs, following Al-Mutasim's 833 CE model, concentrated all their Turkic warriors in Samarra. One city, one unified force. The Byzantines thought, we can manage this, just sell off the surplus before they get too numerous. Fatal mistake. The numbers don't lie. Byzantine Black Sea ports, Trebizond, Crimean trading posts, moved thousands of Christian Turkic warriors annually. The buyers, Abbasid agents, Fatimid recruiters, Ayyubid officials. The Byzantines weren't just bystanders, they were the suppliers. They sold Christian Kipchaks, kumans, pechenegs to Islamic powers while using identical troops in their own armies. The hypocrisy is staggering. Same warriors, same system, but Byzantium sold the surplus to prevent them from demanding their own churches. Then came the catastrophic mistake. During internal Muslim conflicts, Arab leaders deployed Byzantine-sold Turkic warriors to defend Mecca itself. Within months, they realized their error. Christian-origin soldiers, recently purchased from Byzantine slave traders, guarding Islam's holiest site? Warriors who answered only to their commanders, not religious authorities? The danger was immediate. These men needed to go. Far away. Across the Red Sea. Ships departed from Yemeni ports loaded with these Byzantine-sold, Christian-origin Turkic warriors. Destination: Horn of Africa. Official mission: defend trade routes. Real purpose: permanent exile from Arabia. These displaced warriors, originally from Eurasian steppes, sold by Byzantines, bought by Arabs, now exiled to Africa, landed in a world of ancient Christian kingdoms, religious conflicts, and powerful Berber tribes. 3 continents, 3 religions, 1 warrior culture. In the Horn of Africa, something extraordinary happened. Byzantine-sold Turkic steppe warriors met North African Berber fighters. Two warrior cultures recognized each other's excellence. Steppe cavalry tactics merged with desert warfare. Turkic tribal organization fused with Berber military traditions. Intermarriage created a new hybrid population. The legendary Black Tatars were born, a fusion that Byzantine demographic engineering never anticipated. By the 1200s, two streams of Turkic warriors flowed into Egypt, both originating from Byzantine territories. Stream 1. Fresh Kipchak slaves directly from Byzantine Black Sea markets. Young, recently converted, traditionally trained. Stream 2. Seasoned Berber Turkic veterans from Africa. Originally Byzantine-sold warriors, now with mixed heritage and multiple combat experiences. In Egyptian barracks, these streams merged. The Mamluks were being forged from Byzantine raw materials. Remember, Byzantium had the same system, Tourkopouloi, skythikon, their own Turkic slave warriors, but they thought they were smarter. Keep them separated, maintain religious control, sell the surplus. What they didn't anticipate, those surplus warriors they sold would unite elsewhere, merge with African cultures, and return as conquerors. The very system Byzantium pioneered, using subjugated Turkic warriors, would be perfected by the Arabs using Byzantine-sold troops. The student became the master using the teacher's own resources. May 2nd, 1250. The Seventh Crusade threatens Cairo. The Ayyubid Sultan is dead. His incompetent son insults the Mamluks who saved Egypt. That morning, Mamluk commanders, descendants of Byzantine-sold Christian Turkic warriors, strike. Sultan Turan Shah is murdered. The slave warriors declare themselves Egypt's new rulers. The Byzantine nightmare is complete. The very populations they sold to prevent church autonomy now rule one of Islam's greatest powers. Byzantium's solution created their rivals. The Mamluk Sultanate ruled Egypt and Syria for 267 years, until Ottoman conquest in 1517. They built the most sophisticated military state in medieval Islam. They crushed the last Crusader kingdoms. They stopped Mongol expansion, all built on Byzantine-sold warriors. The Tourkopouloi and Skythikon stayed loyal to Constantinople, but the surplus Christian Turkic warriors Byzantium sold. They became the Mamluks who conquered empires. Same warriors, same training, different outcome. Byzantium's demographic engineering backfired completely. Critics say Byzantium would never do such a thing. Arabs bought their Turks elsewhere. False. Byzantine military records name the units Tourkopouloi, sons of Turks, Skythikon, recruited from Pechenegs, Kumans, Kipchaks. Emperor Alexios I's own army lists prove it. Same system, same warriors. The only difference? Byzantium also sold them. Black Sea slave markets, Trebizond ports, Crimean traders, all Byzantine-controlled. The evidence is in their own documents. They pioneered the Mamluk system, then weaponized it against themselves. The Berber Turkic Black Tatars may have been recreating something ancient. Old legends speak of four brother kingdoms that once ruled the world. Red Tatars in the north, White Tatars in the west, Black Tatars in the south, Yellow Tatars in the east. A pre-cataclysmic global system, now forgotten. Were these African warriors unconsciously reassembling lost knowledge? Genetic memory of a vanished civilization? 3 centuries, 3 continents. Christian warriors sold to prevent autonomy became Islamic conquerors. Byzantine demographic engineering created the Mamluks. Steppe nomads merged with African Berbers to forge legendary fighters. Slaves became sultans. And through it all, a deeper pattern emerged. Hints of an ancient world system trying to reassemble itself. This is the story they didn't want you to know. From Byzantine slave markets to Egyptian thrones. From Christian Turkic steppes to African warrior synthesis. This is the untold prequel to the Mamluks. If this hidden history fascinated you, share it. Because the stories they erased are the ones we need to remember. The truth about how empires fall and conquerors rise is written in the paths of displaced peoples who refuse to disappear.